What's up guys, Kudou-kun here. I know it's super bullcrap that I disappear for like a month and then I come back to hop on a hype train that just started rolling. But I actually have a lot of stuff I want to say on this thing, and I never really get gaming news and stuff out timely, so this is the first time I can actually get to something while it's still relevant. I was trying to figure out a decent way to organize this thing, so I figure what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a top 5 list of the top 5 good and bad things that I think about the Switch. And then afterwards, predictions and a wish list. So without further ado, let's get straight to the content. Good. Regardless of how closely the Joy-Con looks to the Wiimote, Waggle gaming is a thing of the past. The way Nintendo has built this system, it is impossible for there to be the same motion controls that we had during the Wii and a little bit in the Wii U. There's not going to be flailing your arms or anything, because in the scenarios that Nintendo has set up in their launch trailer, I guess you could call it, or reveal trailer, sorry, not necessarily launch trailer, reveal trailer, there's no way that Waggle is going to be a thing again. No more motion control gimmick, it's just disappeared. Bad. While I realize not a lot of people will agree with me on this, I think the gamepad was a pretty revolutionary idea. I understand some people didn't like the feel, it didn't have very good battery life. I realize all of your problems, but the thing is, I really liked the idea of having a second screen where I could keep an inventory screen, I could keep my map, I could keep all kinds of information that I would normally have to pause the game in order to get. There's no more screen on the controller, so we probably won't be touching on that kind of innovation again. Back to pushing pause to check my map every 10 seconds. Good. It seems like the farther we go into console generations, the more we eke out the idea of inviting our friends over and playing a multiplayer game. Nintendo's always been really good about this kind of thing, with games like Mario Kart, Mario Party, and Smash Brothers, but they're getting even better at it by having a console that you can take pretty much anywhere and offers 2 controllers right on the side. Obviously, a downside here is how small the screen is going to be, and I don't think it's going to be very possible to play with more than 2 people at once because of how close you would have to huddle into each other, but I think in a party setting, this is kind of a neat idea if you're going to just have people trade off. Maybe if you get into a fighting game or something like Smash Brothers, you can sort of trade the controller off when somebody loses. Overall, as much as people want to knock it for this, I think the idea of bringing this to a party and having some people switch off and maybe watching a few rounds of a fighting game is actually a really cool idea. And it seems like Nintendo are the only ones who are really pushing the real-life social aspect. Bad. This is going to make some nerds angry, but the actual gaming content that Nintendo showed is worth absolutely nothing. This isn't some snooty shot at Nintendo's current lineup, and it's not some snooty shot at what Nintendo has chosen to launch with. Tell me something, Skyrim fans. What direction is this guy going in right now? Go ahead, I'll wait. What's that? You don't know what direction he's going in. That might be because there's something missing on this HUD. Like the HUD itself. I can tell where this guy's going. This guy's going a little past west. That's because finished gameplay of Skyrim has HUDs showing which direction you're going in. The Skyrim gameplay Nintendo is showing off is from an unfinished version of the game. I'm sure the game is finished now, but there's no guarantee it looks the same now, considering the version they showed us here is unfinished. I don't want to be that guy, people, but Watch Dogs wasn't that long ago. What about The Legend of Zelda? You can't even see how many hearts Zelda has left. Oh, but what if she's in a cutscene right now or something? Here's a shot of the guy actually playing the game during his video. I still don't see any heart containers. I don't see any inventory items. We could say that maybe they're on the gamepad screen, but there is no gamepad screen. Now, I'm not saying that Nintendo Switch was being dishonest in any way or automatically has bad graphics. But what I'm saying is I don't feel like we have any idea what the graphical capabilities of the system are yet, and there are people who are already trying to decide whether or not this game console has good graphics. We don't know yet. None of the gameplay footage that Nintendo showed could have possibly been finished gameplay footage. Good! I know I just gave it a lot of crap, but the launch lineup honestly does look pretty amazing. The new Zelda and Mario both look fantastic. fantastic, and having a portable Skyrim, if it does actually look as good as it says it does, is going to be pretty awesome. I didn't really get into Splatoon on the Wii U. I did try out the global test fire, but I didn't actually end up buying the game. I think I might actually buy the game for the Switch. The way it's being hyped up, I'm sure it's going to be available at launch, and I think this is probably going to be the best multiplayer that the Switch has at launch. Bad. The Nintendo Switch is already doing so much, I don't think there's any chance we're going to be able to get VR on it, at least for a very long time. Regardless of your personal feelings on it, I think VR will be the next huge step in gaming. Whether it's good or bad, the fact that we have a true possibility at virtual reality is going to be what the next generations of gaming are going to be focusing on. While I love the direction that Nintendo's taking in the whole having a console that can also be portable but still be as powerful as a home console thing is great and is in itself an amazing innovation, I feel like they're going after the wrong innovation at the wrong time. I want to believe with all of my heart that somehow the Nintendo is going to pull off having a virtual reality headset on the Switch some point in the future, maybe after some of the bugs are kinked out, I don't know. But I feel like VR is where gaming is going, and I feel like the Switch just has too much going on for it to actually take that next step with the rest of gaming. Which is hilarious when you think about it, because virtual reality was, the virtual boy, but we won't talk about that. Good! Okay, I feel like people are glossing over this big time, and we're not going to gloss over it, because this is important. The list of announced Nintendo Switch partners is a huge friggin' deal. Now keep in mind, this doesn't automatically mean that Nintendo is going to be getting some really good games, but what I see when I look at a list like this is absolutely limitless potential. I want you guys to keep in mind that the idea of portability makes it so that even if Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft all get the same game for their consoles, even at a slightly lower graphical capability, Nintendo's Switch is going to be the definitive version because of the portability. Die-hard Sony and Microsoft fans are probably going to get on my case for this. They're going to point out that the new Nintendo system probably will not have the same graphical capabilities, probably has more loading time, so on and so forth, whatever. The thing is, if Square Enix decides to start releasing the Final Fantasy VII parts on Nintendo's new console, it's gonna be great portable. If we get Kingdom Hearts 3 on the Nintendo Switch, it's gonna be the one that I get. ArcWorks is there. If we start getting fighting games on this, it's gonna be definitive. If we start getting Call of Duty on this, it might not be as definitive, but it will be the option that some people go towards. If you're a college student or something, and there's a new Call of Duty with some kind of local multiplayer like zombie mode or something, then you could go to the college, set this up, play with a friend, and wait for class to start, or wait in between class breaks, that kind of thing. With Atlas on board, the idea of personas starting to kind of hop onto Nintendo's consoles is very, very exciting. Nippon Ichi Software, if we start getting Disgaea on this thing, it's going to be awesome. Sega, Spike Chunsoft, all of these are really good developers, and they're on the Nintendo Switch hype train. Marvelous is even there for continued Senra and Kagura support. Shout out to all my perverts out there. Again, I want to reiterate that nothing I just said is guaranteed. Final Fantasy VII probably won't be coming out on the Switch, and Call of Duty might not be coming out on the Switch. But I also want you guys to keep in mind that everything I said is possible if they actually have the support that they are saying that they have here. Bad. I really hate to be grim, guys, but the Switch might be Nintendo's absolute last chance at a console. While the Wii did have mass market appeal, and a lot of people did buy themselves a Wii, the problem that Nintendo didn't foresee was the fact that casual gamers don't buy very many games after they buy their system. Yeah, it's true, I do know some 80-year-old women who did go out and buy themselves a Wii, but they got Wii Fit, and they played Wii Sports, and then they didn't buy a single other video game. The Wii U tried desperately to reach back out to us, but all it could really offer us was last-gen gaming this gen with really not very many improvements, and Smash Brothers, and that was really about it. Okay, yeah, true. Mario Kart 8 was the best Mario Kart, but they didn't give us Zelda, they didn't give us Animal Crossing, no Metroid Prime, no Pokemon Stadium. Guys, it wasn't even that the games on the Wii U were mediocre. It was that no games were on the Wii U to be mediocre. Nintendo lost a lot of faith with these last two console generations, and this might be their very last chance to do this. If this Nintendo Switch thing fails, then Nintendo's going to be a handheld exclusive market. You guys can tell me I'm exaggerating all you want to. I don't think I am. Even if Nintendo goes on after the Switch to make more consoles, they're just going to continuously bomb. I think the Switch is Nintendo's last chance to show us that they can make a good console with innovation. Good! Now that the newer versions of the PS4 and the Xbox One have lamented themselves as casual gaming PCs, Nintendo has found a way to corner themselves a small piece of the market. People are asking themselves more and more over the years why they should keep bothering with the PS4 and the Xbox One when they can just get very affordable gaming PCs now. And neither of them have really been able to give an answer so far, but honestly, Nintendo kind of has. Gaming laptops aren't really a good thing, and if we can console game on something that we can also take with us when we go out somewhere, when we go to work, when we go to school, so on and so forth, then I think Nintendo really has the edge this season. I stated this before, but every single game that comes out on all three consoles, Nintendo's going to, by default, have the definitive version. And it's only going to not be the definitive version if A, they decide to come out with some kind of crazy DLC you can only get on the other two consoles, or B, you're somebody who notices the difference between like 1080 and 1080p. Even at a slight graphical downgrade or slightly more load times, the ability to take this with you somewhere is going to give it the edge no matter what. Plus, with so many games going cross-platform now, if we get all of the huge exclusives like Call of Duty and Titanfall and all of those kinds of things on the Nintendo Switch, on top of all of Nintendo's amazing exclusives like Zelda and Mario, I really think that Nintendo has something going here. And I think Nintendo is going to bring a lot of answers to people who ask the question, why choose a console gaming rig over just buying a gaming PC? I mean, we'll see what Sony and Microsoft have got, but it's not looking good at this point. Unless you're Nintendo, in which case the view's looking pretty darn great. Bad. This thing is apparently dropping in March, and I feel like they haven't really shown us anything that new yet. I get that the new Mario and Breath of the Wild look very good, but Splatoon's going to be a port, Skyrim's going to be a port, but these are all games that we've known about or seen before. Like, even the Mario game, you can argue that everybody knew that a Mario game was going to launch along with this thing. I know this is going to sound weird to say, but I'm worried. I'm worried about Nintendo not being able to bring anything new to the plate for this thing's launch. Some people are going to argue that they don't have to do anything that's special at launch as long as Zelda's good and Skyrim's good and Mario's good, but I feel like they should really be blowing it out of the water, okay? I feel like they should be bringing some new IPs and they should be pushing the new IPs like crazy, because I think the thing that everybody wants to see out of Nintendo right now isn't the fact that they can do the things that they've already done good, because we know that they can. I think what everybody wants to see Nintendo do is say, we can actually push something innovative and new. Even the Wii U had things like Hero 100 or whatever it was called, I don't remember. It was the game about collecting the heroes and fighting or whatever. Jeez, I'll look it up later. Anyways, even the Wii U had something like that going for it. And I still don't see anything about the Switch having something like that. I know that they just announced the Switch, but if they're going to be releasing it in 5 months, then I feel like they don't have that long to hype us up for whatever new games they have. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, here are my top 5 Switch-related predictions. If you happen to be watching this video sometime in the future, feel free to comment about whether or not I was right or wrong about some of this stuff. The killer app that Nintendo was waiting to hit us over the head with is Smash Brothers. Sometime between February and April, there's going to be an announcement about Smash Brothers' definitive version for the Nintendo Switch. For $60, we're going to get a copy of the game, and we're also going to get all of the DLC. That means all the characters, all of the levels, and all the Mii crap that you bought and you never used. Now, a lot of people probably see this coming, so I'm going to up the ante a little bit. 1 to 2 new stages, and 1 new character will be released with the new Smash. Every fiber of my being wants to say it's going to be Breath of the Wild Link or Linkle, but there's just too much Legend of Zelda representation already. I don't think Nintendo would take that route. There are 2 much more likely decisions. The new character will have to be something that shows beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Switch is superior to the Wii U. The Splatoon kids would be ideal for this. Their attacks would probably have something to do with putting ink all over the arena, and then they could either dash or push some kind of button to turn into squid form and go along the ink that they create. This is very complicated, couldn't be done on the 3DS and Wii U versions of Smash. If they just make one definitive version on the Switch, then this is pretty much going to be like the ideal scenario for them. Because that would be a technical sight to behold, and it would be a lot of fun to play as too. On the other hand, if Nintendo really wants to pander, the Ice Climbers could be coming back, guys. Oh, guys, I've missed you so much. Please, Nintendo, please let them come back if you just release the game on the Switch. It won't even matter if they're not compatible with the 3DS version anymore. Also, if you get up Oliver's Pikmin to 6, that would be great. The new stage is going to be easy. It's either going to be Splatoon, Breath of the Wild, or both of them. 2. There is no way Nintendo will actually hit that March deadline. Guys, this thing is not coming out in March. There's no way. The information is too new. There are probably too many problems. It's not going to be on shelves in March. It might be finished in March. It's not going to be on shelves and available for you to buy. I'm expecting us to be able to buy this thing in May. That extra 2-month window is going to be enough for Nintendo to get all of its bugs fixed. And don't get me wrong, okay, it's going to have a really, really good excuse as to why it can't be here in March, but it is definitely not actually going to be here in March. If I'm wrong, great, that's wonderful news. But I'm not wrong, guys. I'm not wrong. Expect a 2-month delay. 3. If the Switch succeeds, you guys have 1 more year to fully enjoy your 3DSs. Now, I understand this will be a heavy loss on all of us, but keep in mind that this is for the good of the future of Nintendo. For all of you wondering why does the 3DS have to die in order for the Switch to live? And I'll explain. So if the Switch actually does what it sets out to do, then you will have a home console that is also a portable console. It'll be both. So, the future of portable games is to have the same quality and elegance of your console. That means the next Pokemon game after Sun and Moon, if the Switch succeeds, will be on the Switch. And it will have the same portability as your 3DS. And I want you guys to keep in mind that that is an extremely good thing. That means that there's a chance that the new Professor Layton, the new Phoenix Wright, the new Pokemon, all of these 3DS series that you love, Fire Emblem is another really good one, are going to have the quality to be a home console game, and you'll also be able to take it out as a portable game as well. Keep in mind, this is all assuming that the Nintendo Switch succeeds. If the Nintendo Switch bombs, then everything is going to be moved to portable, and you won't have to worry about your 3DS dying. In fact, there will be new iterations of 3DS for years to come. The other huge problem is Nintendo is kind of cannibalizing itself with this if it keeps both of them alive simultaneously. Because, ask yourself a very important question. If you have the ability to play console games on the go, if you can play Skyrim, if you can play Zelda, if you can play Mario on the go, then why would you bring that instead of your 3DS? If you prefer your Professor Laytons, your Phoenix Wrights, your Pokemans, and all of these portable games, then why would you get a Switch and take your Switch with you? And I understand that some people are going to be crazy enough to bring both of these things with them, but not everybody is going to do that. I'd say maybe 10, 20-ish% of people are going to bring both. You're either going to bring your NX and leave your 3DS in the dust, or you're going to bring your 3DS and half the reason for the NX's existence is going to be completely futile. I want you to keep in mind that without the portability feature of the Switch is just a watered-down PS4 and Xbox One. No, scratch that. Without the portability, the Switch is a slightly decent PS3 or Xbox 360. Ew. So how long do I have, Kudou? Well, I'm thinking that the 3DS is going to start dying probably late next year. I'd say that if it's not completely just abandoned the end of next year, it's going to be fully abandoned sometime mid-2018. I want you to keep in mind that doesn't mean that 0 games will be released for it, but it's not going to be good games, okay? It's going to get the Vita treatment, where it only gets niche titles, which is not necessarily awful, or it's going to get shovelware until it gets completely destroyed. You have until late 2017, mid-2018 maybe at the most, to continue getting good games on your 3DS, so enjoy. 4. Sony is in a lot of trouble. So before I really get started on this, a lot of people are going to think that I'm really harsh on Sony, and that I hate Sony, and that I'm a Nintendo fanboy, and I want to dash that right now. The thing that makes all of this hilarious and also a little bit sad is the fact that I'm actually a Sony fanboy. I still have my PS1, my PS2, my PS3, my PS4, my PSP, and my PS Vita, and I love all of them. Sony are my dudes. I have always been a Sony fanboy ever since the PS1 was released. It was my favorite console, and Sony has had my favorite console in every single console generation. But Sony let its guard down for a second, and I think that 1 second just really screwed them up for the next console generation. So for those that didn't see it, the PS 4.5, the Neo, was announced, and so was Microsoft's Xbox Project Scorpio. I don't want to get into all the details right now, but Sony made a lot of huge errors when they were making the 4.5 Neo. There's a lot of things that the 4.5 cannot do that Microsoft can do, and a lot of really weird, sketchy reasons as to why. The one thing that Sony had to fall back on was at least it was going to be better than whatever Nintendo was going to announce. And Nintendo just came out with their foot straight up in the air and kicked Sony straight in the jaw with this one. Not only does the NX look like it's going to get a lot of the games that we expected to get on the PS 4.5 anyways, but it's also going to be portable, which beats out the Vita. I know, right? Who cares about the Vita? Psh, Vita. It's not even a relevant console anymore. Here's the thing, you'd be really surprised at how important the Vita is. While the Vita looks like it doesn't get very many good games, it fills a very particular niche, a very Japanese niche for weeaboos like me. All of the best RPGs are coming out on the Vita, and the Vita's getting a lot of really good games. And the Vita actually competes with the 3DS sometimes when games come out. So, for example, Zero Time Dilemma came out on both the Vita and the 3DS, and everybody got it on the Vita because the Vita version was superior. Same thing happened with Conception 2, Children of the Seven Stars. Came out on both consoles, Vita version far superior to the 3DS version. If the Vita is no longer competing with the 3DS and has to compete with the Switch on which version's going to be better, holy cow! That is going to be a complete nightmare for the Vita. Not only are we getting the power of an actual console for the what used to be 3DS version, but we'll also be able to play these portable games on our TV screen if we want to, which is still something we can't fully do with the Vita. Don't even talk to me about Sony TV, okay? It whitelists random games. It's not that good of an experience. It's barely a niche item. Even if you like it, the Switch is going to do better. The final insult on all of this injury is the fact that Sony was trying so desperately to create a system where you could transfer the data to a portable system, take it out, come back, transfer the data back. And Nintendo completely destroyed it, completely blew it out of the park by just having the console itself be the portable system. Nintendo took away the one truly innovative thing that Sony could have done with the Vita and the PS4, already succeeded in doing it. Even if it succeeds in doing it now, it's not going to be as good because you're still going to need a PS4 and a Vita, and comparatively, it's just not going to be as good of an experience, in my opinion. I'm still going to stay with Sony. I'm still going to stick with them. I'm probably not going to get a Neo because it's just going to be a slightly better PS4, and I don't need that in my life. But I'm with you, Sony. I'm going to continue buying your games. I'm going to continue being on your side. I just think Nintendo got you on this one. Next generation, it's going to be tough for Sony to keep up, and they're going to objectively, fanboys aside, fanism aside, I think Sony is going to objectively have the worst of the three consoles. Number 5, this one might seem like it's coming straight out of Left Park, but I think the eShop will finally look into porting some GameCube titles. We're probably not going to get a whole lot of them, but I imagine we're probably going to end up getting Metroid Primes, Super Mario Sunshines, and the Pikmin games at the very least. There are a few reasons I think this. One, I think the hardware is going to be strong enough to support it. I believe we've had Dolphin Emulator for at least 3 to 4 years now that has been emulating these games, and I think now is a good time for Nintendo to go ahead and just figure out how to do that for themselves. Maybe hit up one of these emulation sites and get a few of these ROMs so that they can sell them on their new console. I think this is the push over the edge that Nintendo needs, and I think they're going to provide it. I'm not even going to care about Color Splash and how not good it is if they just give us Paper Mario Thousand Year Door on the new console. Sure, Nintendo, here's $20. Give me Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Here's another 20. Give me Luigi's Mansion. And the fact that we'll be able to play these games on the go is just going to be icing on the cake, okay? I'm going to be that guy out there with Kirby's Air Ride set up, and I'm going to be begging people, random strangers, to play Kirby's Air Ride with me. I'm telling you right now, like, of all of the things going on around the Switch, as hyped as I am, the thing that gets me the most excited is the possibility of playing Kirby's Air Ride or Thousand Year Door on my portable console. Oh god, Nintendo, please make it happen. Please, I want it so bad. The final part of our video is just going to be a small top 5 wish list of things I'd like to see from the Switch. 1, good battery life. This is a very easy one to guess, but it's one that is very important. Probably the most important thing surrounding the Switch right now. Nintendo, you listen to me. This thing could be the next coming of Christ. If it only lasts 2 hours, it is not going to work. I'm not being unreasonable here, okay? Here's what I want out of the Switch's battery life. I want 8 hours. I want to be able to take this thing to work. I want to be able to play it at work on my breaks, and I want to be able to come home, and I still want to have at least a little bit of a charge on it. This, let's be honest here, isn't unreasonable, okay? I think 10 hours in rest mode is reasonable, okay? I think 4 to 5 hours of hardcore play is reasonable, okay? And this is as good as it needs to be to succeed. If you're only pulling like 3 hours, I'm not going to be very happy, Nintendo. Please, please, all I'm asking is for 8 hours. That's all you gotta do for me, baby. 2, Animal Crossing! This thing is perfect for Animal Crossing, Nintendo! You listen to me. We had an Animal Crossing every single console since the N64. Dobutsu no Mori for the N64, then Animal Crossing for the Gamecube, then we had Wild World for the DS, then we had City Folk for the Wii, and then we had New Leaf for the 3DS. The Wii U, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And no, don't tell me about some shovelware happy room nonsense, okay? I'm talking about a real Animal Crossing game. The Wii U was the very first console to not get one, and I'm hoping you were saving everything for the Switch because it's absolutely begging for Animal Crossing. If I'm out somewhere, I'm bored, I can open up my Switch. I almost called it the NX, sorry. I can open up my Switch, I can check out Nook's shop, I can talk to some villagers, I can do some fishing, and then I can put it away. And then when I get home, I can play it on my TV like I want to. You guys have such a good thing going with New Leaf, okay? New Leaf is the perfect version of Animal Crossing. All you have to do is take everything from New Leaf and put it on the Switch, and pretty much everything's perfect, okay? Just a prettier version, new furniture, new events, and that's all you guys have to do, really. Just clean it up a little bit to make it look better on consoles, and let us transfer our characters over like you did with Wild World and City Folk. Also, I realize this next one's going to be a lot to ask, but if you could maybe start looking into having some kind of Animal Crossing servers so that we can, live in our friends' towns. I know that's just crazy in the future, but if you could start on it now, then maybe 2-3 Animal Crossings from now, we could finally have the feature that everybody wants, and that is multiple players living in the same town, I'm just saying. It doesn't even matter, guys. I am so hungry for some Animal Crossing. Please, next year, announce the new Animal Crossing. I know you have it. I know you're getting it ready. I want it by December next year. Okay? If you wait too long, then the Animal Crossing hype is going to die, and nobody is going to care about it anymore. December 2017 Animal Crossing will be part of what moves these consoles. 3. So I'm actually going to be pretty hard on Nintendo for something that everybody let slide during the Wii U time. Nintendo, come here for a second, buddy. 32 gigs is not enough for anything. When you guys came out with an 8 gig and a 32 gig machine, that was downright embarrassing, okay? Embarrassing. The PS3 had 500 gigabytes and 200 gigabytes available when they came out, okay? 500, 200, that is enough space. That is what we're looking for. When I heard you guys were going to have 32 gigabytes of space, I actually kind of thought it was just a joke. But no, you guys can't pull that off this generation, guys. Please, please, I'm asking you, friend to friend, please give us 500 gigabytes. Yes, Nintendo, I will pay more for more gigabytes. If you guys have to release this thing at $400, $500, but it has 500 to a terabyte, I am happy to pay that price for you, Nintendo, because downloaded games are the way of the future. That's just the way it is. And no, external doesn't count, okay? Because with external, I have to go out and buy extra memory for my console, and I don't want to do that, okay? Just have enough memory on the console to begin with, so I don't even have to worry about it. 4. Okay, this one's going to sound hella unreasonable to most of the people out there, okay? But I bought the PS Vita back when they had the 3G models, so what I can actually do is get online with my Vita anywhere I want to. This was truly one of the most revolutionary things Sony has ever done, because if I had an online game for my Vita, I could play it anywhere I wanted to through the 3G service, and I didn't have to use Wi-Fi. Nintendo, if at all possible, I think you should look into this. I know that this is a lot more complicated than I'm making it sound, but if you guys can manage to pull a few strings, make some deals with AT&T, Sprint, Verizon, whatever you gotta do, and get some 4G in this thing, then it's going to be the ultimate console, okay? The best for casual, for hardcore, for everybody. And it's absolutely not impossible if the Vita was able to pull it off. I want you guys to imagine for a second, okay? You're going out to a restaurant to get some food. You sit down, you set up your Switch, and you play yourself an online round of Splatoon or Call of Duty or Smash Brothers. That is perfect. Or you're on your lunch break at work and you decide to set it up, and you've got a buddy at work who's also at lunch, and the two of you go online and play some Smash Brothers together. Let's sweeten the deal, okay? You're out somewhere with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, and you decide that you just want to take a moment and watch something on Netflix. So you set up your sweet, awesome Nintendo Switch with Netflix installed. You go online and you stream something on Netflix. Guys, this is absolutely the direction you need to be going. Netflix and online gaming anywhere. And yes, I will willingly pay extra monthly for this service if we absolutely have to. $20, $30 extra a month? Done. Okay? Done. If I can have internet anywhere I want to. Just make sure to make it optional, okay? Finally, at number 5, we have don't mess up the social aspects. You're not marketing to kids anymore, Nintendo. We need friends lists, okay? Real friends lists. If I play Monster Hunter or Smash Brothers online and I find somebody that I really like, it should be 2 buttons to add them as a friend, see if they're playing again, and hop on to play with them anytime I want to, okay? You're getting pretty good at it with Monster Hunter, alright? Monster Hunter 4, Monster Hunter Generations, they have pretty darn good online sociability, and I think that's exactly how every game should be on your new console. Focus on your online players, because online is pretty important right now, even if you don't think it is, okay? I also want more games online. I want to play Hyrule Warriors Legends online because I know you guys are going to put that thing on the Switch. I want a Four Swords Adventure online because I know that would be pretty sweet. So many possibilities. Please take advantage of your online market. When I'm at my home menu, I want a very easy friends list that I can get to, that I can see what all of my friends are playing, I can connect, talk to them, start parties, pretty much everything that Sony and Microsoft are doing right now with online gaming. You need to do that, and I think you can do it better. Stop flagging YouTube videos. Just let creators upload your works online, okay? It's actually not as big a deal as you make it out to be. I see where you're coming from, but you just can't do that anymore. Also, feel free to incorporate some of your other stuff. I, for one, personally would actually use Miitomo as an app if it was on your new console. I think that'd be pretty sweet. You could take small breaks from gaming to check out your Miitomo stuff, and then hop right back into gaming. You shouldn't even have to close your app or anything. It should be perfect. I was listening to somebody, and I think they mentioned something about how sweet Street Pass would be, and yeah, Street Pass would be pretty sweet too. Bottom line, online sociability is important right now, Nintendo. Make sure that that is absolutely on point. So here are my final thoughts, guys. I'm hyped, and that's something that I haven't been able to say in a while. Gaming just really hasn't been what it needed to be for me lately. Like, I'm not going to be one of those people that says that gaming was just so much better back in the day and that it's just never going to have that magic again. I'm not going to be one of those people, but I will say that gaming just hasn't provided me personally with what I've needed lately. And I really feel like the Switch is the next thing to get me really excited. Like, I really want one of these things, and I'm definitely going to get one. Nintendo doesn't always get it right. Color splash. But when Nintendo does get it right, Nintendo seems to get it really, really right, and I think that's what they've done here. Because this thing is getting so much love, it's also getting a huge shadow of hate and doubt over it. This is going to be trendy for a while. I noticed that ETC News made a very negative video about how this is going to fail and bomb, And you have to understand that it's really easy for news outlets to do stuff like that, because when this thing does succeed, all they have to do is shrug their shoulders, talk about how wrong they were, and they'll make even more money because people will come to see them change their mind on it. Like, it's all just a money stunt. Don't even listen to it. Of course, you should go into this with your own opinions, but just know that Kudou's opinion is that the Switch is the next real big step in gaming, in my opinion. The best and worst thing about the Switch is possibility. This thing has a lot of open doors for it right now. It's got a lot of great developers under it. If it knows how to treat those developers, then those developers are going to give it a huge edge. Like, fighting games on this thing are going to be amazing. Shooting games are going to be pretty good. It's got every chance to succeed with this. It's got a great gimmick. It's got pretty good hardware. And it's coming out at the perfect time when Sony is just tripped up and nobody's really doing anything over there at Microsoft to make the next Xbox stand out. But of course, because all of these open doors are here, nobody really knows what Nintendo's going to take advantage of. If it doesn't take advantage of its developers, if it decides to be really, really whipped when it comes to its online interactions like it was with the Wii, if it stops listening to its fans again like it seems to do every now and again, this thing is going to fail, and it's going to be the last failure that Nintendo makes in the console race. I also kind of wanted to note that there are some people looking over this, like Angry Joe, Boogie, and even Alpha Omega Sin, who are really hurting me with their lack of intelligence. Guys, there is no way the 3DS carts will be backwards compatible with this thing. Guys, this is a 3DS. Now I'm going to give you a second to work out what the DS in 3DS stands for. Now I'm going to give you a hint because I don't want this to take all night, alright? There are two things on this console, and those two things are where DS gets its name, and it's two things that the Switch does not have two of. Alright, just take a second. Just take a second, guys. It's okay. It's okay. We'll wait. We'll wait, guys. We'll wait. You got it? You good? Okay, I'm going to move over to a picture of the NX. I know they look really similar, but I promise it's going to be a picture of the NX. Okay, guys, here it is. Here's the Switch. So, I'm going to give you another second, alright? You can go ahead and discern for yourself what two things the 3DS has that this thing doesn't, and then you'll figure out why 3DS games wouldn't be possible. Okay? You got it? We good now? I understand that we're in the speculation phase, and that there are no stupid statements because nobody has all the information, but that's a pretty stupid statement, okay? This thing is not going to be backwards compatible with 3DS games because it's lacking a very important component of a dual screen system. And for everybody trying to come up with a way that it could still be backwards compatible, no. All of it's dumb. This thing's probably not going to have a touch screen on it. It's going to be $400. It's going to get a really messed up screen if it has a touch screen. You're not holding this in your hand like the gamepad. It's actually in the console itself, so you're not going to have access to two screens at the same time. If you turn this thing on its side, it's not going to control well. There's no room on the screen for two different screens. You cannot play most 3DS screens with only one screen. You can go tell Angry Joe, Boogie, and Alpha Omega Sin that I think they're all stupid. If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like. Those things really help us out. If you have any thoughts on the Switch, or you just want to tell me how wrong I am, then please leave me a comment in the comments section below. And finally, subscribe to stay up to date on the latest Kudou news. Thank you for sitting to the end of the video, guys. It was a lot of fun. I hope it's not another month before I can get another video out. But regardless of when it is, I'll see you all then.